Oh. All right, props.
Think about it. Think about it.
Is this tilted?
Is it?
I'm looking at it tilted, but on the screen it looks like it's straight.
Yeah. Oh, because that's the way it. Yeah, that is.
Curtains.
Oh.
I mean, either way, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Today is November 1st,
November 1st.
and welcome to.
What's the show called? This is episode 11.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the Black Apple Pie podcast.
Black Apple Pie Podcast.
Yeah, man. How are you doing, man? How was your Halloween?
It was good. I mean, I stayed home, fell asleep during the Texas game, but woke up in time for overtime. So, I mean, it's generally pretty good.
And went into overtime?
What?
They went into overtime?
Yeah.
They win?
Yes. Which doesn't bode well for the Big 12, but it's fine.
What does that mean?
It means that Oklahoma State was the only unbeaten team. And so at the end of the year, they take the best teams and they put them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically means that the Big 12 will probably not have a representative in the playoffs. Actually, I think they have to have a representative in the playoffs. But generally, it's going to be a bad one.
Is this coronavirus related?
No, that's how they've done it for the last few years.
Well, I mean, has COVID affected college football in any way?
Yeah, for sure. I know. The Big Ten didn't even start playing until last week.
Oh. What was it's October?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
Actually, it might have even been this week. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah.
Sounds like a happy Halloween, man.
It was what it was. It wasn't like me dressing up and, going out and signing autographs.
Who did that?
I don't know. I just figured, if your costume's good enough, you...
Why would you sign autographs?
Autographs, yeah.
Unless you're a known cosplayer or something like that.
You don't know.
If I'm dressed up like Goku, I'm not going to go around signing like,
Goku?
Oh, hey, child. Oh, Mr. Goku. Mr. Black Goku.
Mr. Black Goku.
Can I have your autograph?
I signed an autograph with Killmonger.
Who would you sign an autograph for?
I mean, I bought a bagel, and they were like, sign this, and and then...
The bagel?
No, the receipt.
Wait. Did you write Killmonger on the receipt?
I definitely did.
See? You're exactly what Trump has been complaining about. Voter fraud.
I did not vote at Einstein's brothers.
You forged Killmonger's signature, and he's been dead for at least 2 years.
He was dead before that because he's not a real person.
You saw him perish.
Perish.
He was out there watching the sunset.
I saw the fictional character perish in a movie.
See, it's copyright. It's copyright.
Yeah. Well,
see,
he came back.
He came back
2 years ago for Halloween.
Hey, feds, get him. That's your boy right there. Trump, I'm snitching.
He's right here. Come pick him up.
He's a leader of the radical leftists.
Lock him up.
Black Lives Matter. Okay, I'm not saying that because he's an African American.
My African Americans love me. Not this one, but generally, I've done more for black people than anybody, any president, aside from Jefferson Davis.
Jefferson Davis?
Yes.
I would like to hear Trump say that.
I don't think we're that far off.
So at one of his rallies, because he's had like 18 rallies in the last week,
and they're getting the numbers back, and coronavirus is spreading at them in significant ways.
Yeah, what was it? They looked at, they did some, I don't remember who it was, but I want to say it was like Columbia, Cambridge, or something like that. They did some research on the effects of his rallies.
Oh, Stanford.
Stanford, okay. Yeah.
I was like, what are you?
I couldn't remember what group it was.
Columbia, Cambridge?
Yeah.
Did you mean Harvard? Like, what are you talking about?
Well, Stanford, apparently.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah.
They did the numbers and they looked at his rallies and the spread that happened. They looked at it before and after.
Mm-hmm.
700 deaths.
Yeah.
Is what Trump's rallies are responsible for. Not people who attended those rallies, but the people that they came in contact with.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, like, it is a study and it doesn't explain everything. Like, there's obviously going to be like outliers and you can't trust anybody ever. Right. And like, they could have all somehow gotten the particular condition from somewhere else. But, you know, it looks bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think I understand it.
What,
like
the super spreaders?
Like going to a Trump rally right now. Like outdoors, close to a bunch of, like outdoors, yes, but like close to a bunch of people. Like if you look at Democratic rallies, people are staying in their cars, people are like, you know, but Trump rallies, like people are just standing right next to each other, lots of them without mask. And it's like, look, I don't go to see Jesus because of COVID. Like literally, I haven't been to church in a very long time. Like, I'm certainly not going to a Trump rally.
Hey, well, if you catch COVID, you might be able to see Jesus a lot sooner.
Well, a whole lot of people have been. And I think it's like, you know, as much as it's, you know, heaven's where I want to be, like, I don't know that, like, COVID is the way I'm trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
Absolutely not.
Also, real quick, you may not even know who this is, but big rest in peace and power to Rance Allen. That dude was a voice. Man, I was very sad to see him go. And I'm very sad that, like, a lot of people don't know, like, who he is.
Well, why don't you tell us, Marlon?
I mean, he was a singer, and, like, we're talking, he's been a singer for a very long time. And, like, I mean, you could obviously, like, Google him or Spotify him, but he has a voice like nobody else. And was, gosh, like he was like the kind of person who in the 60s and 70s like sang these songs that encouraged people to fight the system, that encouraged people to like look at the truth and to look at like what they were doing to Black people, what they were doing to poor people, things like that. And that, along with, and I mean like in conjunction with, you know, his belief, like him being a gospel singer, like, I mean, he just stood the test of time and his voice stood the test of time. I was able to see him in concert before, just a phenomenal singer until the complete end. And so anyway, that's who he is. Like, definitely like Spotify or something, but like when you see like any gospel singer today who is worth their salt in vocals, they'll tell you Rance Allen was that dude. Anyway, I'm done talking about it, but big rest in power, big rest in peace to him.
Rance Allen.
What were we talking about before this?
Super spreaders.
Yeah, super spreaders. Coronavirus. Yeah, and so I think that's one of the...
I'm trying not to be distracting.
It's all good.
No,
I think that's one of the things that you have to like... I think that's one of the things that voters are thinking about is, you know, if Trump were to get reelected, like, what does he do with coronavirus? Like, and does it, like, is it just, this is the status quo where we're just like lied to, told we're turning the corner while numbers are like going off the charts? Well, and is that going to be effective? Because
you have to remember, I mean, to cut you off, but you have to remember, if we don't do testing, then we don't have cases.
That's not a true statement.
It's just like the flu.
That's
people
not a
catch
thing.
it. Most people recover from it. Some people die. That's just, it is what it is.
No, we do testing for the flu.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't test as much, then there wouldn't be so many cases.
Of the flu?
Of either one.
That's not true.
Of course it is.
How?
If I have it,
yes,
and I don't get tested,
yes,
obviously it's not a case.
Okay. There's a very real difference between like the reality of there being a case and the reality of there being case numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're saying is that may not make the radar of case numbers if we didn't do so much testing. But that does not mean that there wouldn't be cases. The problem is if we don't do the testing, we then can't put in the work to make sure that that isn't spreading from you. Right? So if you don't make that number because you aren't tested, that doesn't mean you're not spreading it to other people and eventually killing other people.
But it is what it is, Marlon.
That's not a thing. Like the idea though, like, I mean, yes, it is what it is, but like that doesn't mean that that's how it should be. And it doesn't mean that we just need to like, you're saying it is what it is to dismiss that like we could do something about it. And that's not true. We can absolutely do something about it.
You know what? Trump is MAGA country's Xerxes.
Explain.
If you think about, y'all saw 300, right?
I love Greek mythology.
Yeah. So Xerxes was the god king, right?
Mm-hmm.
This man couldn't be taken down. He had the best army. He was super tall. He had a deep voice. Was very flamboyant. It's like a tough. He had like orgies and stuff. He had all this jewelry.
Okay.
Trump, it's kind of the same way.
Okay. Is that
to MAGA country? But what was the thing that Leonidas somebody had told Leonidas like, oh, you got to make God King bleed, and that's how they'll know. Trump got coronavirus and he ain't dead. The God King did not bleed. He recovered. So they look at him and they're like, yo, he's the one. He's our guy. He was sent by the almighty Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan to give us freedom and liberty from black people.
Oh my gosh. I was just waiting for you to add Jefferson Davis in there.
He's their Xerxes. But no one's like Joe Biden is not King Leonidas.
But I think like the issue in there was is like it was like once he bled, they were like, okay, he is human, he can be beaten, blah blah blah. And that's what they thought would break down the charade. But like you had to know there would be no charade breakdown because there hasn't been one to this point. And Trump knows it. It's why he said, I could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue. I could shoot somebody and kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and nobody would bat an eye.
Okay, so I need you to get that quote correct.
What was it?
He just said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He didn't say I could kill somebody.
All right, fine.
But now he could probably say that he could kill somebody and it'd be fine.
I mean, in my opinion, he's killed 200,000. Never mind. Let me not. Let me not go there.
Isn't it funny how, in hindsight, all those things that he's said like that he's kind of done them in a roundabout way?
Look, most presidents complete their campaign promises. They do.
Promises kept.
Yeah. Although I will say that, like, he has not completed a lot of them, but he completed some of them.
Oh, man.
And, like, the quality of those completions, meh, but, you know. You are distracted, sir.
You! I'm jocking on your...
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to say those words for Marlon's sake.
You literally said them last week.
What? Did I?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
You have cussed, like, atrociously in these past few episodes.
Oh my gosh. It is hot in there.
Yeah, I can see the sweat on your forehead.
My hair is all sweating. Oh man, this probably looks really bad on camera.
I mean, the worst part is that you can't commit.
To that?
Yeah, I mean,
when
I put on a costume, I am the costume.
Why don't you dress up like a Dragon Ball Z character then?
Nah, I'm good. I don't like Dragon Ball Z. We've talked about this.
Yeah, we have. Let's not do that.
Let's not. All right.
Reopen old wounds.
Election is 2.5 days away.
Yeah.
What are we looking forward to? What are we anxious about?
Well, So during this whole process, as we've gotten closer to election day, I'm reminded of the old show that we did, and how I think it was the one that we did right before election day, close to this one.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, hey, whatever happens, black people are gonna be all right. Not necessarily because things are gonna go well for us, just because the shit that's been going on is the shit that's gonna continue going on.
Okay.
And we were like, hey, but y'all other groups out there, looking at women,
Transgender people.
Yep, LGBTQ,
Mm-hmm.
all y'all got something to worry about. And
I don't know that I agreed with that at the time, but
well, I mean, you look at the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Look at what they nominated. Or what's her face?
Amy
She's a justice now.
Yeah.
We're already looking at rolling back Roe v. Wade
And
ACA.
Yeah.
The Affordable Care Act for people who still call it Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
And other protections for those groups.
And, it will the unveiling, not really the unveiling, but the implementation of refugee bans and immigration bans and things like that. All of that stuff is on the ballot.
All of it is on the ballot. So if Trump wins again, hey, black people got at least the platinum plan.
I don't think so. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't think that the platinum plan is anything other than words. And I think even if it was implemented, it would be implemented like the wall, where it's like really bad, not going to last, and ultimately going to be unhelpful and kind of an embarrassment.
I halfway agree with you on that. So I think whatever does get implemented from that, if Homeboy gets reelected, it's going to be, it's going to be whatever's going to benefit him the most. Like this prison reform thing that he signed.
Yeah.
Because Jared Kushner was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, my pops, blah, 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 whatever. And Trump was like, well, I'll think about it. And the Kush guy got in contact with Kanye. Kanye went to the White House and they had this big meeting on prison reform, something that a bill that had originally been drafted like 2 years prior to that. So Kanye coming to the White House was just for show. And it was just like, this administration, I don't want to just put it to this administration, because there have been many administrations, many politicians who have been using black people as props and pawns.
Oh, for sure.
For a long time. But this one, specifically, there's just something about it, man. It's just, ugh.
I mean, I will say, I'm actually, okay, so...
It's like this is where it all comes to the tipping point, right?
It's not even that for me. I just think like the people that they're using as pawns, if you will, aren't necessarily the people that I'm surprised they're being used. And I'm less offended by them, because I'm like, I didn't put a lot of stake in you as a leader for me.
Yeah.
Like, I just did. Like Lil Wayne is not my...
That's my mixtape messiah.
Lil Wayne is not my Martin Luther King. He just not. He not my Martin Luther King. That's not who he is.
Wait, did you say he's not your Martin Lil Wayne?
I said he's not my Martin Luther King.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he's not. He was never going to be a political or thought leader for me or anybody else. Like, he's just not. Like, and that's where I'm just like, okay, like, he paid you, I'm guessing, to like say positive things about, like, I guess, make money. Like, if that's what you want to do, make money. I think what offended me more was actually like toward like earlier in his administration when he got all these black pastors in a room, and like that was when I was kind of like, all right, what are y'all doing? Because I don't think that. I don't even know how you say this. Contrary to what some people think, I do not think that Trump is the theological leader or the like ordained leader of our time, like who does the will of God. Like I just like in so much as like purposely does the will of God for the reason that is the will of God. There we go.
But how do we know that? What if Jesus Christ himself is speaking directly to Trump? And he's like, I don't know what kind of voice Jesus has. What if he's just like, Donald, I need you to kill more people with this coronavirus. That's the only way we're going to save the world.
Donald.
144,000.
Donald. You didn't get that I was doing the Robert from the R. Kelly interview?
Oh, no. No, I did not get that one.
It's okay.
I actually was. So whenever you were talking about Lil Wayne, my thought process.
Bag boy.
That one was good. That one was good.
That's what he was like. He's like, Donald, I said, if you fill my little duffel bag with money,
Young Buddy, baby.
And then he kissed Birdman like, but don't tell nobody.
Oh, you had to go there. You had to go there. You think he kissed Trump in the face?
Ew.
Trump's been talking for the last 2 weeks.
He did. He's like,
And look at this handsome man, Lil Wayne.
I beat coronavirus.
Lil Wayne is in the audience. Look, he's a beautiful man. I would love to give him a kiss.
Lay one on me, Donald.
Like Chris Rock.
Lil Wayne.
So whenever you were mentioning Lil Wayne,
The Carter 6.
This is gonna be an intro from Donald Trump on there.
Hello. This is former President Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Former President Donald Trump. I'm here with Lil Wayne, and I would like to say that he is making America hot again. I was trying to use a reference, but I just, my Donald Trump and Hot Boy references are very dated.
Birdman in the background. Playboy. You know what I'm saying? Playboy.
Is that how it's done?
My best friend in the world, Lil Wayne. He has some hot. Is that what they say? Okay. He has some hot records. He's one of the hottest men. Okay. He was a hot boy, and now he's a hot man.
It'd be a remix of like coming through for the 99 and the 2000s.
And then you hear that lighter flick.
Get him in the dad, I don't even know what we were talking about.
So, when you were talking about Lil Wayne, when you brought Wayne up, I wasn't just talking about the folks who have been used as pawns recently.
Yeah. Okay.
This is why I'm glad that you went to the pastors. Because this first started, it was the meetings at Trump Tower.
Okay.
Kanye was one of them.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey was another one.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King Jr.
You mean the third?
The third.
Did he get MLK?
Yes, you don't remember that?
No, I meant Junior. I meant did he get Martin Luther King Jr. Because if he brought back MLK,
my bad.
Bro, he getting my. Like, do you remember the other day when I asked you like, hey, what could Trump do that would make you? I found out what it is, and like all of a sudden, and I've seen the Promised Land, and I went there, and the Donald brought me back. I'm gonna take him with me when I go back.
You see, I've done more for the black community than even Abraham Lincoln. I brought back the savior.
He has
MLK.
And now I'm gonna do a lot for the black community.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill him.
Okay.
On my way back to the grave.
Okay.
That's all we wanted.
Non-violence, be damned.
I said Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes. And I hopped up. I was like, what?
He got the third in there.
He got the third.
He got the third in there.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. That was like this interim period before he was inaugurated, where all those people came and visited. I actually didn't mind that, and I don't think that necessarily makes him a pawn. Although I think he should have met with like people who are just like what they do is think about these things, as opposed to people who like think about them, you know, necessarily like outside, which isn't to say that they can't have great ideas or whatever.
No.
Point is, if you invited me and you were like, hey, I really do want to take this seriously, like I want to take Black progress seriously, will you come meet with me before I'm inaugurated? I would say yes, because who shouldn't give him a chance? Mm-hmm. But at this point, where I've given him a chance, I've seen what he's done. I've seen him roll back protections for Black housing. I've seen him put in Ben Carson, who is probably a great surgeon, but a terrible and unprepared and what do you call somebody who has no like...
Marlon, that is not true. I'm very qualified. I'm highly prepared.
Why are you qualified?
Because I was chosen to do this job.
By whom?
By the President of the United States of America. He's a very good man. I believe in him.
No, but why do you? But like, why do you feel like you're qualified? Like what?
My luggage.
Bro, okay, I knew you were gonna do two things. Like this is where I know our friendship is on point. I knew you were gonna do one or two things. I knew if I gave you enough time, you were gonna pull the luggage line, or if I could feed it to you, you would tell the story about him seeing Jesus over the. Do you remember the painting of Jesus? And yes.
That was fresh. It was in my mind.
Yes, I was trying to feed you, and I was like, we're either getting the luggage or we're getting the Jesus story. Like I know we are. He has no like that's what it was like. Unqualified, like no qualifications.
Wait, before you go any further,
what?
I have to ask you if you remember this story that Ben Carson told. Do you remember hearing him talk about when he was at I believe it was a Church's. It was either Church's or a Popeyes. You heard this one? Okay. A few years back, Ben Carson's being interviewed about his black card was being tested.
Oh gosh.
So he gave this example of him being, let's say it's Popeyes, of him being in Popeyes, and a Popeyes in the hood. Somebody coming in to rob the Popeyes.
Yeah.
The gunman comes up to Ben Carson. I'm sorry, Dr. Ben Carson. He's like, hey, I need that money. I need you to run it. And Ben Carson was like, Dr. Ben Carson, sorry. He's like, okay, I think you want the person at the register and not me. And the gunman was like, you right. Proceeds to go over to the register and rob the Popeyes. Meanwhile, Dr. Ben Carson is like, he told this story to people with a camera
that he aided and abetted the robbery of a Popeyes. Wow. I do not remember that story at all. I really don't. But anyway, I've seen Trump roll back protections for Black people trying to find housing in better places. I've seen him input Ben Carson, who is unqualified to be HUD supervisor, as HUD supervisor. I've seen him talk and dog whistle and support both explicitly and implicitly white supremacist ideas, and retweet somebody saying white power and like this. Like I've seen it. So at this point,
Yeah.
there is no like benefit of the doubt I'm giving you that like, oh, if you talk to Lil Wayne, it is because you want to like sincerely find out how to create and implement and push progress for Black people. Like I'm done there. Like there's just nothing you can do at that point.
The only way that I can make any sense out of that is if one, that's the person that you're supporting. As a voter, you're supporting Trump.
Oh, so like if Lil Wayne was already a Trump
right,
person.
right.
Yeah.
So if he's supporting him in re-election, like, cool, well, you know, whatever. I get that.
Yeah.
Or if you're just like, it ain't looking good for Biden. I don't think homeboy's gonna win.
Let
Trump,
me figure out
like,
how
let's-
to get an influence.
Because if you're gonna be here, we need to make sure that you got something in plan for us.
Yeah.
It's gonna benefit
yeah,
us.
that's fair.
And
I guess,
at the same time, I should have been doing this a year ago.
Yeah.
I should have been doing this 2 years ago.
For
Don't
sure.
do it a month before the election.
Yeah, like-
don't do it a week before the election.
Surprise, platinum plan. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, that was the thing. Like, at the last debate, he was like, why didn't you do all these things? He was accusing Biden. He was like, why didn't you do all these things that you said you were going to do? And it's like, Trump, why didn't you do all these things?
Oh, we've been trying. We've been trying. Okay. The radical leftists.
But let me, nope. Not even doing
Do it.
Nope,
Do it.
I'm not doing it.
What's he got? What's he got?
He had both houses.
Yep.
Look, when we had both houses, a whole healthcare system happened. When he had both houses, he changed the tax code to benefit rich people. Like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's not like, oh, Marlon, you're super biased. No, that's like objectively what occurred.
That's facts. That's real news.
Yeah. Anywho. And then try to convince us all that new tax code benefited us.
Because what was it? I think there was a good amount of people who got more back on their taxes the year that went through.
And then all those
Subsequently-
things like went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get shit back on my tax. Yeah, mine wasn't. Then they just taking more money out of my that I earned.
Did you make a little more? Did you get up in that next
So you know
bracket?
what?
get up
No,
in
I didn't get in that next tax bracket. I would have been getting more money back if I did.
Ooh, you mad? You big mad.
But I ain't stressing. Yeah. So like it's even back then when Martin Luther King the third went up there to visit. All that photo ops.
Yeah.
And then he like in the photo of him and Trump, you can see it in his face like, I fucked up. This was not the move. I shouldn't have done this.
But they were getting paid. Like that's part of it that makes sense to me. It's like if you like need the money for something, like honestly, I need the money. So if you really want me to be a pawn, we might be able to figure out how to make that happen. But I'd much rather be a pawn for Biden. Like if that's what we're gonna do. Like I need the money. So like, but it's different for me than it is for like other people who have money, right? So like Diamond and Silk, I can see why they were pawns. Like I don't think they were just like killing the game financially before they started like.
They definitely weren't killing the hip hop game.
Were they? Are they ever in the hip hop?
They are his official music group.
Seriously?
Yeah. They sing and they rap.
Diamond and Silk do?
Yes. With names like Diamond and Silk, what else are they gonna do?
Sell jewelry?
Yeah. Etsy store.
No, yeah, they like they
Give lap dances?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, Diamond and Silk, like, that's what I, like, never mind. If your name is Diamond or Silk, I'm sorry that I insinuated that you possibly give lap dances. Although, I will say, giving a lap dance, that being your profession, may be a profession with more integrity than being a pawn for Donald Trump.
It most definitely is. Well, your Diamond and Silk are dancing, giving lap dances. Ooh, baby, you want that platinum plan?
Look. There's probably a niche out there. There's probably a rich client that really... You've seen BAPPs? Do you remember that movie?
No.
Really?
It's you see it once and then it's like I don't remember much of it.
Okay, that's fine. That was a much better joke than I got a laugh for because you haven't seen BAPPs in a long time, but that's fine.
Someone out there gets it.
Somebody
does.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And if you do, write me.
So
drop a comment. Like, I got the BAPPs joke.
Pawns for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Pawns for Biden. So let's go see the other side of this.
Okay.
For Joseph Biden.
Yes.
He also has been meeting with entertainers.
Sure.
Let's see. I think Jermaine Dupri was one of them that he met with. He's been working very closely with Common.
Okay, but Common has been political for a long time.
What does that mean?
Like, Common has been political in the sense of, like, he's worked on campaigns for criminal justice. He's worked on, he's been around a long time doing it. Yeah. As opposed to just, like, hopped on the scene 2 weeks before the election to, start campaigning like that.
Hold on now. Lest we forget, Diddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, was rocking those vote or die shirts back in 2004.
True, but that wasn't like...
2000.
But that...
It was the Bush... Gore.
But that wasn't...
was that one? Yeah.
But he wasn't, like, pushing a particular candidate.
Wasn't he?
He was not.
He kind of was.
Vote or Die was a pretty, like, mid-level, like, a pretty, like, non-partisan campaign.
I mean, it was. It was. And that was so far back, I don't...
Yeah, that's fair.
But it was backed by MTV, wasn't it? They were the one pushing this whole rock vote.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also a liberal outlet.
Only because Republicans keep trying to keep people from voting.
Oh, I thought you were going to say trying to keep people from watching MTV.
No. And you don't need somebody to keep people from watching TV.
They're the ones who were censoring all the videos.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, of course, Vote or Die was like, vote for Al Gore or die.
I don't think that's what that was.
Oh, it definitely was.
But they weren't wrong, because if we had listened to Al Gore about this climate change thing back then,
right?
probably be less close to death. Anyway.
So yeah, he's been in and out of the scene for a while.
Sure. And I'm not saying that, like, these people aren't necessarily pawns. I think that they are less pawny, if you will, if they've been in the game a while and, like, have intelligent things to say about deep policies, than if they, like, jumped up there, got in a picture with them as, like, yeah, the platinum plan that was, like, made 2 weeks ago is
bling,
like,
bling.
Yeah, trying to bring the bling bling back to all black people.
The Trump. Every time I come around your city,
bling bling, bling bling. I don't know why, but in my impersonation of Lil Wayne, there's always this air of, like, I have drank cough syrup recently. Like, that's what I have to embody. Like,
and you do it well.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Good job, man.
Anywho,
who else is working on the Biden? Oh, he did say something recently that Biden. What did he say? He said in one of his speeches, he was talking about how, in multiple speeches, he said that looting and rioting and violence is not the answer. It should be condemned. It shouldn't be anything that should be happening.
So he said looting and polluting is not the way? Here's what Captain Planet has to say.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody thinks on its face looting and polluting. Looting and
rioting.
I'm not gonna say rioting, but looting is, like, ideal. But I think there are just more important things to think about, and I don't know that you condemn one without the other. Like, I can say, like, hey, I don't love that I'm watching people run out of stores with stuff that, like, doesn't necessarily, like, build the cause of racial equality. But I can say I'm not going to condemn that and not condemn the fact that, like, hey, they have a right to be angry and they have a right to feel like they're not being listened to. And if you have to pay a financial cost for killing black people, at least you're paying something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I should be a politician. Well, I killed that speech. I should be a politician. That's the second thing I killed today. The first was It's So Hard to Say Goodbye by Boyz II Men. That was earlier, though. Y'all didn't hear it.
Oh, the one that I neglected to push record on?
Yeah, he didn't push record on it. It's fine. He didn't help me or nothing. I didn't get no harmony, nothing. He just left me out there.
I was just sitting there setting everything up, getting it ready.
Left me out there.
It was just like, I was singing in the shower, man. Nobody knows you can do it. But when you're alone, you be hitting them notes.
I wasn't even alone.
You kind of were. I wasn't really paying attention to you.
This is why we don't like each other.
That's true. And then the second part of that,
Mm-hmm.
before you came in with the Captain Planet thing, was while he did condemn the looting and the rioting,
Mm-hmm.
using his words, he did say, but, you know, these people are they're crying out for justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, cool. But I don't know, man. It's like, I know that your objective is to get into power so that maybe you can do something about it. But me as a voter, because I'm already like, I guess I'll vote for Biden.
You already voted.
I know.
You might as well be confident now.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. And I am, I'm certain that he will get into office. I'm certain of it.
Okay, sure.
But for me, this whole thing this year that just got sparked by George Floyd's death, don't use his name and Breonna Taylor's name and all these other people that we've lost during this administration, kind of like as props, to quell the violence, if you will. I mean, because if you're going in and you're destroying Walmart's windows and you're taking shoes and TVs, like, honestly, is that stuff more important than the lives that have been lost? So that we have continued to not see any progress when it comes to justice.
So, but like, what if I made that same challenge? Because you're like, hey, don't use his name to justify your campaign, like justify your whatever. So what if I said, like, don't use his name, don't use their names to justify your running into Walmart and breaking their windows?
No, that's legit.
So,
but at the same time, I am not going to tell black people what to do with their anger.
Yeah, I'll double down. I'm not going to tell black people what to do with their anger. And if I am, if I become an unarmed black person that is killed, trying to say this delicately. Make people pay. And I mean that financially. I mean that I want all the attention. Like I want statues. Like I want
You want statues of you?
Not particularly, but I want my family to never have to work a day in their lives again. Whoever we need to go out after for that to happen, like that should happen. Like I want, when I say make people pay, I want them to have to do bake sales to fund the police next year. Like that's what I mean. Like I want the police outside, hey, like they're pulling you over and you're like, hey, what did I do, officer? They're like, nah, I just want to know if you want one of these cupcakes. That's what I was like if you, because I promise you I ain't doing nothing wrong. Like I promise you my life ain't set up to for me to go down for drugs or whatever, whatever. So if something happens, and I don't carry guns, it's just not my thing. So if something happens, somebody need to pay a crap ton of money. And whatever you need to do to make them pay that, make them pay that. I said it.
Period.
Now, I will say, don't hurt people that aren't, don't hurt people. Don't hurt people. But No, I was gonna name a business. I was gonna be like, I don't particularly care if you take out, and I'm like, let me not do that.
Yeah, like go
Do
straight
y'all
for
mind if I add
CVS.
some perspective.
I mean, I guess. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So in 01, I was senior year, high school, graduated 02. But in 01, during, like this time of year,
Yeah.
I worked a seasonal job at Walmart. And when me and a couple other high schoolers got hired, one of the things that they like to brag, like, worldwide on the global scale, they bragged that Walmart could give away everything that they sold in all of its stores in every single country on the planet and not lose profit. And just give it away for free for a year and they would still be financially secure. Maybe not lose profit. Obviously they would lose profit, but like we would be good. Like Walmart would still be around with no issues. We could give away globally a year's worth of anything that they sell. You're talking about Walmart, everything from like plants to groceries.
Yeah.
And everything, electronics, housewares, tire services, oil changes, everything for a whole year. And it would be like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Like that's how rich this company are, and that's how like the managers who make if even $15 an hour at that time were like, yeah, we like to boast and brag about that. While all the rest of us are making $5.15 an hour. And I'm just like, wow, so why don't we get like $10 an hour?
Yeah.
Like 01, right?
Yeah.
And that's,
So
I think.
so when these places get looted, I don't lose sleep.
Yeah. No tears are shed, no love lost.
And that doesn't even take into account that they have insurance. So
Exactly.
as soon as they get looted,
Exactly.
like that, there's like money goes in their pockets from getting looted.
Yeah.
Like it's not like somebody's like, oh, I won't be able to like pay the bills. Like no, like Sam is Sam still alive?
What? Sam Walton?
Yeah.
No, his son's in jail.
Yeah, the children are.
Sam's son, Sam Jr., I don't know his name. The daughter that's crazy.
Sam the third.
The daughter that's crazy, the other, like all that family, they are not losing any sleep over the fact that the people who work for them can't like live off the wage that they're paying. They're not losing a wink of sleep off of that. And they're not going to lose a wink of sleep if like some store in a city that they've never been in gets a window knocked out. Oh, are there even windows in Walmart?
Yeah.
I don't know why we keep saying windows.
Wait.
Front, like where the shopping carts are?
Yeah, I think they have like a
I guess.
upper, I think they
Oh,
have
yeah, where the doors are.
Yeah, but ain't nobody going up there to. Oh yeah, those windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking like they have like skylights. yeah, ain't nobody worried about those. But no, I think that's an excellent point. So yeah, no, I'm not super concerned. Don't hurt people, but I'm not super concerned about like somebody, especially a business like that, losing profit.
That's the thing that gets me. Is like these politicians speak more loudly about the Targets and the CVSs and the Walmarts. They're all insured.
Yeah.
They all have enough profit.
Yeah.
They don't pay any taxes.
Yeah.
The only way that anybody in this country who's in a position of power is going to pay attention, or voters for that matter, most of them, is if their pocketbook gets affected.
Yeah. Now, I will say, like, Marquise's barbecue, like, leave Marquise alone.
Well, okay, so we're not talking about like local.
But that's that's why I'm pointing this out. I'm like, like we're talking about my death here. I get to make the rules. Leave Marquise, leave Marquise alone. Like leave like these local businesses, leave people who are just trying to like live their lives. Like leave them alone. But like these stores that like have nothing to do with your community and like have gotten these tax breaks so they don't do anything or whatever. Like, yo, make somebody pay.
Yeah.
And my family's GoFundMe. Y'all go ahead and y'all go ahead.
What picture do you want to use?
Oh my gosh!
What picture do you want me to wear on your on
you
my
will
shirt?
never do this. We
had
this conversation. You promised me. I was like, promise me when I die, nobody puts my face on a shirt. We had this conversation, and you promised. I need you to remember that right now. Do you not remember this? You don't remember. I'm glad we're having this conversation. On proof right now on this podcast, Girard has promised me that when I die, my face will not be on a shirt with clouds and like, it's just not. It's just not about to do that.
I'm gonna get one. It's got the clouds in the background.
I'm about to do that.
It's gonna be you.
I will come back with Martin Luther
Ruth
King.
Bader Ginsburg. and Chadwick Boseman doing the Wakanda salute. All three of y'all.
I will come back with Martin Luther King. And I will come back with Martin Luther King. We'll be like, Medgar Evers. Rosa Parks. And we go wail on you for all the ancestors that you're. Oh, I'm hot. Oh my gosh.
And you know I gotta put Harambe on the back.
Bro, I promise you, I will. Your whole house will burn down, and they'll be like, "We don't know how to explain it," and you will just be like, "It was that dang shirt. I should have never got that made."
You're like, Marlon, my bad, man. My bad.
That's right.
and then tell the artist that he loved Goku to give him Goku hair.
Oh my gosh.
And then the picture will be like Tom from MySpace, but with Goku hair.
That's your house too. That's right? Both your houses are going down. Oh, shit, yeah, that's right. You got a family. You better take it back.
I take it all back.
Oh man, no, we not about to do that. Not. Oh man. Okay, so we gotta get to the point where we wrap this up.
Okay, I was just gonna say the last thing about this election thing.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Young Jeezy's anthem, 2008?
My president is black. My Lambo's blue. I don't know the words after that.
Shit.
I'm sure it probably is in the song somewhere, but I don't think it's there.
My Lambo's blue, and I'll be goddamned if my diamonds ain't too.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Hey, you think you're working on a remix
no,
with Biden?
I don't.
How you think that'll sound?
My president is white, like most of the others, but he ain't crazy, so let's get smothered. I don't know.
Let's get smothered.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. It's gonna be in the vernacular soon.
All right.
We out here getting smothered. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it'll stand for something cool.
No, it won't. It's gonna be cops. We're gonna start smothering black people in the streets.
Oh man, yeah, it's just What?
I saw this meme.
Yeah,
I saw this meme where Joe Biden is meeting with Young Jeezy, and his hand is on his shoulder, and the caption is, "Hey fam, that Lambo's still blue."
I did see that meme as well.
Oh man.
Yeah. So worst case scenario Tuesday.
Worst case scenario, 2016 is repeated.
Okay.
Joe Biden is leading, and then Donald Trump starts to catch up, and they're kind of neck and neck, and then Biden moves a little bit, and then Trump keeps moving up, and Biden stays down here.
Okay.
And Trump gets reelected.
That's worst case scenario.
Oh, you know what? There's so many bad scenarios. This is like when Doctor Strange
it's like
Infinity War was there's 144,000 ways that we could die, and there's only one way that we can get out of this.
144,000.
14 million ways that all this goes wrong, and only one way that it goes right.
It's a callback to Jesus.
Yeah, I was about to say you were just using your Bible references. You just rinse and repeat, huh?
Hey, man.
Okay.
It's the Book of Revelations, man. So it's alive.
Okay.
Because there's also the possibility. If Trump loses, one, he denies a loss and says, look, we're taking this to the Supreme Court.
Of course.
Whatever didn't get turned in on that day don't count. Or, however way they want to spend it. So there's that. There's also the possibility of MAGA country loading all their shit up and trying to kidnap more of these governors and whatnot and bring in this extrajudicial violence.
Okay.
Because you saw what happened
to the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump retweeted that and said, I love Texas.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a Biden-Harris campaign bus.
Yeah.
They were on their way to
Austin.
They were on their way to Austin from San Antonio,
Yeah.
right? They're going up 35, and then this caravan of
Like Trump trucks.
the Trump train was sitting there and was just like, I don't know if they were like escorted. It was definitely some kind of intimidation tactic.
Yeah, because they brandished a gun at some point.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they brandished a weapon. But yeah, so tried to essentially run the bus off the road.
Oh, who does that?
They did hit a car.
What's that? Mad Max. I mean, you asked who did it. Oh yeah, that's what I think of.
Shiny and chrome. That's what they thought they were.
There's somebody on the front of the truck playing the Let's go! What song would they be playing?
They probably playing some, what was that, Toby Keith?
Whiskey
for my man, for my horses.
You remember that white fraternity that was like singing that song? Like,
which one?
Like, it was like, we don't let N-words in or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they were singing. They like jumping, like, ain't no getting in here or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I feel like they were singing.
So, I mean, this is like straight up ISIS.
That is, yeah, that does kind of feel...
This is the terrorists that we've been talking about fighting for the last 20
like
years.
White ISIS, like white sis.
They're vanilla ISIS.
Vanilla ISIS. Vanilla ISIS.
That's what they are.
White, baby. do. Stop.
Collaborate and
Hey,
listen?
listen.
I don't think they collaborate.
You racist.
We get together and push off buses.
Yeah, so this looked like Mad Max. This looked like Speed. This looked Fast and Furious. Like all these movies with these chase scenes in them actually happen in real life, and the president of the United States is celebrating it.
And it was probably I-35, which is about the same length as that scene in Fast and Furious with the airplane. Oh man, that was a ridiculous movie. But all of them are ridiculous.
They are ridiculous.
So it's fine.
And the thing that gets me is that if Joe Biden is elected president, so you let them intimidate the folks on the bus. When you get into office, everybody in MAGA country saw what happened. They saw how, I don't like to put it like this, but they saw how the Biden campaign folded in a sense. So when you're president and you're running shit, you're going to look mad weak.
So here's the thing. Biden wasn't on that bus.
Right.
So for me, that is Biden protecting essentially volunteers who didn't sign up to be terrorized by like Hickville. Like let me not say Hickville. And like they just did it. So like at that point it's like, hey, ensure your safety. Like they needed the police to come and escort them the rest of the way to Austin. And so it's like, hey, ensure your safety. You didn't sign up for this. Like, let's give you a break. That to me doesn't say weakness. That says like, hey, let's care for these people who aren't getting paid the kind of like money that they deserve to be like terrorized.
So I'm not saying that's what it means to you. This is what translates to Fox News. This is what translates to the Drudge Report. This is what translates to Tommy.
Like, they're going to spin it to say it's weak.
Lorraine, Lindsey Graham, all these people who are a part of this movement that doesn't really give a shit about people, about Americans like they claim to say that they do.
Yeah.
If Trump is out of power and Joe Biden's there, all these people are still going to have their jobs, and it's just going to be, and Trump is going to be, he's going to have his own little network TV thing where he's going to be spitting out all the bullshit he wants. So somebody's going to have to come up and just start throwing hands.
I mean, nothing would make me happier.
Shit's gonna get rough.
Then you know that scene, like anytime you saw Jazz in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he was wearing that one shirt you knew he was about to get thrown out? Because they filmed that like once, and they always use that same one. So Jazz always had to wear that shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you always knew when Jazz had that shirt on. Yeah, exactly. That is how I hope Trump is removed from the White House. I hope he's like, I'm not going nowhere. And then you just see Obama. You see Obama come in and like, and Trump's like, yeah, that's best case scenario. But I think worst case scenario is that this like becomes a whole thing and it gets dragged into like courts and all kinds of things. But we're gonna see what happens. Anyway, I have to go.
Okay.
Because if I don't, I'm gonna be late, and I can't be late today. So, real quick, I'm just gonna say, no matter what happens on Tuesday, whether you get what you want or you don't, be nice to people, and hopefully the polls aren't wrong this time around.
Hopefully the polls aren't wrong. Trump has done irreparable damage to the office of the president and to this country. And it's going to take generations for us to get back to anything that might... There is no normal after this.
But hopefully we can start somehow moving in that direction.
Hopefully we can start, but shit is going to... It's
going to be a while.
It's going to get rough. That's all I'm saying. So prepare for that.
I very much hope we take the Senate.
I hope... We? Black people?
Democrats. Yes. Black people... Take the Senate. No, I hope I shouldn't have said we, because I don't necessarily consider myself full Democrat or anything like that. But I do hope Democrats take the Senate. So
competent ones who want to push a good agenda for change.
But right now, I'll take. Man, I think that's what's interesting about it. Is like Biden the other day was like, "Hey, I'm going to put together a bipartisan like committee to like discuss this thing." Republicans never think about that. Let me not say never, but Republicans like when they were pushing through Amy Coney Barrett, they weren't like, "Hey, I want to pick somebody who like both parties might, at least like no." And they didn't even try. They didn't even like give a whiff of a vote to Merrick Garland.
No.
And so the idea that like one party thinks like, "Hey, how do I like think about the whole nation, even though I'm only like that's just not something that's given to Democrats." So that's why I'm like, part of me is like, no, like I don't necessarily care right now if like we have the most.
Democrats need to start throwing some hands.
Yeah. All right. Thank you
for stopping by
for some black apple pie. Good night. It's daytime. Yeah, that's a bad boy.
He loves his family, he loves his crew, that's nothing new. A touch confused, in love with music, but just a dude. It's just as true, he'll fucking lose what he doesn't use. But he's addicted to those ones and twos. And I can't wait no more. Plus I can't fake that, I just don't feel that up.
Thanks.